the crystal. Beautiful day. Colors are at peak. Absolutely gorgeous. Pretty low and clear. I mean, the crystal's not a huge river. I'm seeing this nice big run here. Been watching it for a few minutes now, and I'm not seeing anything rise, though something might develop. I'm not seeing a whole lot of hatching insects. And so I think what I'm gonna do is just run a streamer through this stuff right here. Typically late in the year, these become good spawning spots for trout. They start to come up here and stage. And if I get some streamers going across the river, we might just find some trout. So I'm gonna try that, and then we'll go find some holes and maybe Euro nymph a little bit, but we're gonna go and start here and get rigged up. Let's get going. Oh, the meat factory. We're gonna go with old Reliable here. He's already itching to get out. Man, see? We got this fishing fly here, see? What we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little knot in the line, see, once. I'm gonna hold that right there like that, see? All right, I can stop that now. Thread it once, and then just tie a normal clinch knot. 1, 2, 3. Through it once. Both those loops, the one you made and then the other one. And then back through there. Start to pull a little tight. And as you can see, there's a big gap right there. That helps the streamer, out a little really big one, but whatever. Helps the streamer float more, move more freely as he's going around. You can see there, real nice. Got a lot of wiggly jiggly going on to him. That's what we're looking for. All right, let's go pinch our barb and then see if we can catch ourselves a fish. All right, streamer fishing 101. First thing is cover water. Fish are only gonna eat a streamer first few times they see it. You're not gonna sit there convincing them like you do nymphing or dry fly fishing to really have them hammer it. On rare occasions maybe, but 90% of the time, the first couple times they see it, they're gonna hit it, and if you get it hooked up, then you're good to go. I always like to fish from upstream, downstream, right? So making sure I'm using the current to my advantage here, so I don't have to do all this casting all the time. A lot of times, a simple roll cast, I mean, this is about a 30-foot wide river, not a huge river to fish, but I've only got maybe 25 feet of line out. Just a simple roll cast to the other side of the bank to get it started. I like to mend upstream, so it gives it a chance to get down nice and deep right at the bottom for when this nice bucket that's right here, I can bring it across as low as possible. It's all about getting the cast, the streamer where you need it, down deep enough so that you can give the presentation you want. I'm not really trying to catch a fish up in this area, I'm trying to catch a fish down in this bucket. So I'm casting up above with a roll cast, crossing the river, mending upstream, letting that streamer get into position, then lowering my rod tip down so it sinks fast, and then when it gets in that bucket, strip, 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 make it look like it's running away. And then if you want, that doesn't work, and you want to give it another cast, all you gotta do is just bring the line up like this. Slick little roll cast now right up in front of, right on top of the hole. Kind of keep your line tight right here, right at the top of the hole, and then let go. And let the tension drop in, or let the tension loose so it sinks down. It's a lot like the same sort of thing you do like if you're like nymphing and you're trying to get down from some fast water into some deeper water, but you got a fast current above you. The further out in the river it is, the better you can do this, and it's called, the other technique that I do is called the struggling streamer, where the idea is that you're keeping it in the current. So you can see here my rod tips all the way out right above the bucket where it should be. And so I can bring my line in, and then I can let the line go loose and wiggle some line out. So what this doing in the river for my streamer is it's bringing it up, 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 then dropping it down. It's like he's trying to get out, he's struggling, and then he falls back down. And for fickle fish that don't seem to be moving very quickly, or it's cold and they're lazy, this can be a really good technique to kind of dangle it in front of them a few times with very minimal casting and catch some fish. You got some company. Don't think they're fishing though. I think they're just taking some pictures. And why shouldn't they? So after a couple casts like that, I just move on. Take a few steps down. Work your way across. Cover every likely spot as much as possible, but fish will move for a streamer, so you don't have to be as exact. and vary your retrieve. Sometimes you don't want to do anything, just let the current move the fly all the way across. Other times you want to add a little strip to it, so that way it kind of wiggles as it goes. Other times you want to let line out. Just kind of, you have ultimate flexibility to do all sorts of things with your streamer, mainly based off of line control and working with the current. It just takes a little bit of practice and timing. Hit that bank, let it sit. See, it's deeper over there on that side right now, so I'm going to try and let it sink down in there more and spend more time there than over here in the shallows. Not to say there's not a fish over here too. It's anyone's guessing this big of a flat like this, but letting it have some time, letting some line out over on that side before stripping it's better. And then, thought I saw something chasing it there. It's not. Try up above here now, a little bit higher up, letting it kind of come down in that bucket, mending upstream so it has time to sink and the current's not going to start pulling on it yet. And then right when it gets that deep part of that hole, that's when you got to have your line ready, so you're stripping your line in so it starts its movement right in the deepest part of the hole where we hope the fish is going to be. So letting it sit. Now I strip. All right, 4 or 5 into that hole, nothing there. Move along, keep on going. Don't fall in the river, because I have a bunch of expensive camera equipment that's supposedly waterproof. All right, now you see that dark shadow from the trees. Trout love transition, especially if they're predate on something like a streamer. So while there might be a fish over here on this side, it's way more likely sitting in that shadow, right on the edge of that shadow, waiting for that streamer to run out of there. This is where I'm hoping, with the shade on the river, that I'm going to find the fish. Not as big a fish in the crystal. It just doesn't do, I've heard it struggles from old mining issues. It's just got a lot of weird minerals in the water, and the insect life just doesn't do as well. Not that there aren't hatches, but something like the Roaring Fork or the Colorado has some pretty epic hatches. So here I'm really covering those shadows good. As soon as it hits that bank, I'm stripping it off, because at least here in these shadows, I'm suspecting something to be waiting in ambush, not just being opportunistic. They're there because they're looking to eat. Ooh. All right, gonna move downstream a little. This is where the 360 video really plays out well if you can, because you always got a good perspective as to what I'm doing. And me moving left and right like this isn't messing with the shot. But try and stay straight as possible. It's always a little difficult. Come on, fish, where you at? Streamer, my tail all screwed up. He's a little screwed up, isn't he? There we go. Little scope in here from our fish skull assortment. One of my favorite patterns. I can't tell you one streamer always works better than the others, but if I am going to say that, it's going to be this one, because it's pretty fantastic looking. I'm going to drop down off these rocks here. Ooh. Ooh. Water is cold. Who told me to wet wade? Alright, let's hit that bank. Nice, slow, deep water. Oop, there's a bump. That's good. Finally, at least a bump. A couple weeks ago, we got some good rain. That would have been a better time. Oh, that wasn't a bump. That was just a bank. I think it was last time too. Streamers are hopeful. Let that sink a little. Then start with the strip. Burying it. Man, I smell a skunk. That's not what I want to see today. Strip, strip, strip. Strip, strip, strip. Strip, strip, strip. A little bit of stop and go. Ooh, there's a bump. He hit it, but he didn't want it. Oh, came back for it. So that's an important thing to learn right there. I did it pretty well that time. but you let it sit. If you feel it bite, don't set that hook and pick up. You wait till you can feel the fish. That was a pretty small one, so that was a tough one. But you wait till you feel the fish on that streamer. And then even then, kind of like what they do in saltwater, you kind of line set. You pull with your line, kind of pull down low until you really feel it, then you can lift that rod tip up. Otherwise, you're really likely to just pull the streamer out of the fish's mouth, especially if it's not that big of a fish. Like that guy was probably like 3 times the size of my streamer. But I applaud his efforts. I would like it if he tried again. Another tip too, if you're having trouble feeling the fish eat, they're eating it soft for the day or something, is keep your rod tip, there's a little fish, keep your rod tip right in the water. Good gosh, where is that skunk? I just don't want to come up on him. Wind's coming from upstream, or from downstream, so he's below me, not behind me at least. Whew. That is skunk, not skunk weed. That is just skunk. I don't think skunks even smoke weed. I don't know where they get that from. Kidding, kidding. All right, let's go down. Try over here real quick. So those are really all my tips. Move quick, vary your retrieve, find the premium water, watch for transition. Like you fall it into the water. Like the shaded stuff here. Fish cross river and fish downstream, and you got your best chance of hooking up streamers. That was muddy. I almost ate it. I'm getting deep here now. I do not like how deep I am for how waiterless I am. Wasn't the idea. Now, this is just a little 4-weight. It's actually my dry fly rod. I didn't bring... Oh, there's a fish. He's coming for it. Oh, I saw him chasing after it. Come on, buddy. You lazy fish. Eat it. Ooh, he likey. Is he still following it? He'd still be in there, right? He went back to the spot. All right. If you have a fish like that, chase it. Give it just a second before casting back in the exact same spot. Just a second, you know? Or vary the retrieve, something different. That was a better fish. He'd actually probably... Could actually probably land him. Alright, now let's try back in there. Oh, I caught a leaf. Told you guys I'd catch something. Oh yeah. Leafy greefy. Here we go. Did I just pick up another flipping leaf? Oh my gosh, I think I might have. Was really fortunate. You know it's fall. You catch more leaves than fish. So my 4-weight is a bit underpowered for the size of streamer, but you know. Just a little huck and duck action. Faster, slower, gonna mix it up a bit. I've kind of been doing the same retrieve. Let's try something nice and quick, right to the bank. Helps if you add some sound effects. That doesn't work, then you go try something else. Oop, oh dear, I almost far out. Happens. Yeah, we call that a slow retrieve. So definitely some fish in here, so that's good, but they're just not really on the streamer right now, it doesn't seem like. Got nothing behind me, I can open up my cast finally. Small fish, so clear. You can see him chasing it. Oh, come on, come back. Alright, I'm getting 3 bumps. I mean, 3 eats isn't bad. You get a lot more eats than fish on streamer fishing, I must admit. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of fun, right? It's kind of like dry fly fishing in that sense. You'll see the fish eat it, and that's fun, even if you don't actually land the thing. try here. I'm gonna try like mid-river. Give it a min down this way. We're trying to bring it over here on my side of the river. That's a nice deep hole right there, so yeah, could certainly see a fish or two. I'm gonna run out of real estate in the river here. Oh, the little guy. Oh, look how small he is. He's like half. Look at him. Oh, come on, bud. You got this. I believe in you. Imagine that meal would last him a month. That was so funny. He nibbled it. You're so curious. So funny. Get that a big old roll cast. I ain't gonna do it though. Still not the cast. I gotta be down a little further. I'm gonna get into those. Shadow here. There he is. Strip, strip, strip. Strip, strip. Come on. Come on. Got 3 shadows left. Oh, good. The little guy's back. Oh, he wants. Oh, did I just literally hook him? That guy's so small. I'm so proud of this fish. All right, let's turn on. Hold him up like this, nice and close, which is cool. Then go underwater with it. Slowly release him. Brr, that's cool. Sweet Mother of Mary. There we go. That's flipping hilarious. All right, we'll be back in a little bit, see if I catch something bigger. All right, well, I'd like 1 decent sized fish chase. 4 little ones eat it. Hooked 1, missed the others. I wouldn't say streamer bite's terrible, but I think we can do better if we go Euro nymphing. That's just based off of what I think I can catch in a day. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and go find a better hole than this. This is pretty slow moving water for some Euro nymphing. So we're gonna go find some different water and do some Euro nymphing, I think. And yeah, let's go explore. Let's go check out some more stuff. Here's how we do the bug seine. Okay? So, for anyone who hasn't seen one of these before, this is what we provide in our online entomology course. You can literally pick them up in Home Depot, but you might as well get them from us because they're free. And they're always free for you guys if you buy the entomology course. So, kind of free, right? It's worth it. Anyway, just take this here. It's a 5-gallon paint strainer, 5-gallon bucket paint strainer. Goes over pretty much every net, which is what's nice about the 5-gallon size. Goes on like that, so you're good to go. And then we're gonna go take this, put it downstream of us, kick up some rocks, make up a little commotion. This is called the menu method. The menu method helps us figure out what the trout could be eating in the river. It's the menu. Then the other process is going down like a little bit lower here. You can see there's that big old nice rock down there, or that nice seam that goes right up against it. Fish are actively feeding in that hole, guaranteed. So you can get down below it, and you can put the seine in, and you can check it all out, and you don't have to kick up rocks or anything there. Then you're just seeing what's naturally floating through the substrate of the river, the actual river stream itself. And whatever you can find in there is more or likely what they're eating, because it's actually moving through. Just because you see a stonefly in the water doesn't mean they're gonna eat a stonefly. So let's go check it out. Let me show you how it's done. Sometimes you get lucky enough to pick up a sculpin, which we got. All right, oh, come here. God, they're so freaking squirmy. Okay, right there. It looked like a little tadpole. So I was maybe a little big on my streamer and should have stuck with Olive. Toss him back in because he is a fish and he needs oxygen. All right, guys. This right here is a golden stone. Younger, about the size of Put my finger next to it. It's pretty small. We got some of those. All right, we got a really large stonefly. Yeah, he's very confused about his life right now. There we go. That's a golden stone. That other one might have been a yellow Sally. It's hard to tell the difference sometimes on them when they're younger. I'm not good enough to be able to get the right two species level, although I will say that one was quite a bit smaller and more yellow, so it likes me. They kind of look like lobsters or crayfish almost. They're pretty cool. Nothing in the water bites in Colorado. So there's the, what did I do with the other one? That's also a stonefly as well. It's like a medium brown or a salmon fly, just young and immature. See how much bigger the mature golden stonefly is and compared to this guy, but he's still a stonefly. You got the same antennae, same structure of his body, not a mayfly, though a mayfly pattern could certainly imitate that as well. What I do with, here's the golden stone, just for comparison here now. Get back here. All right, let's try that again, right about there. Sorry for the tough video, it's hard doing this. So you can see there, two stones, a little bit different coloration. So we got 3 different species of stoneflies in here, which is actually very good. Here's something. Aha! That's something new. So see how it kind of wiggles like a little caterpillar? That is a type of a midge. It's actually, oh, what's the name of these things? Fly, oh my goodness, it's a midge, just for all intents and sakes and purposes as an angler. A nice big fat green one. Another one right there. That's a good video of them. Here we go. See how they wiggle? I mean, people confuse mayflies and midges sometimes with that size, like a caddis. This guy doesn't have any legs. He's just like squirming around with his body. So it's a type of fly. It's a type of, you know, diptera type of a thing. Oh no, Mr. Stonefly. Over here, trying to escape. Much different than like a mayfly, which I wish I could find right now for us to show you guys an easy comparison. No, okay, not a midge. There, if you can kind of tell, might focus, there's a caddis, freeform caddis. Very small. Again, if you were to throw a zebra midge of that olive color, does the trout care if it's one or the other? Not particularly. They're eating whatever they're eating for that day, and it could be mayflies, stoneflies can look very similar, but it's still good to identify these because when it comes to hatches, you could absolutely do it. You could be throwing something with wings thinking it's a mayfly, and they're actually eating midges, which still have wings but are very less prominent when it comes to their profile. So with the menu method, you're just seeing what's in the water, right? We saw a large stone, a small yellow stone, a smaller brown stone, an even smaller yellow stone, and then we saw some olive and green midges, some olive case or freeform caddis. We pretty much saw everything. For some reason, I couldn't find a mayfly in there. Probably find a mayfly if I moved around a little more. But pretty much your staple 4 insects, right, that the fish are going to be eating, all in varying sizes. What that tells me is that we need, while that's one piece of the behavior, we need to see where trout have been. But what I found is as I was working through the water, the fish were in slow water. They were sitting up towards the top of the surface, and they were sipping on things and eating things just underneath the water. That tells me there's an active emergence and a hatch going on, but I couldn't see the bugs for the life of me, which means they were probably midges, when in doubt, because those are just the smallest, so it's easy to not be able to see them unless you get really close up on them. And even then, they're just small. You know, they're like little tiny mosquitoes, pretty much, is what they are. That just don't bite. So when I saw their behavior, the trout behavior, their location, they weren't out here in these riffles in this faster water here. I even fished this nice little hole. I got 1 hit, but that was it. They weren't really actively in the feeding lanes that would be productive for nymphing and be productive for larger insects, you know, getting caught and moving down through the faster current. They were in the slow water, sipping the midges, just enjoying a nice, relaxing, late fall type of day. And you see that pretty common during this time of year as well. So with my insect seasonality, knowing the season that it is and what insects are going to be hatching, you're not going to be seeing really stoneflies right now hatching, It's October. You're going to be seeing midges, blooming olives, sometimes October caddis, depending on if the river has them or not. And so you can pretty much got down to 3 guesses if you then tie that in with your trout behavior and see if they're rising in the slow water. So then you focus on those areas. Yeah, so that's kind of how you piece it together. You got to use a combination of things to find that pattern. And then once you feel like you've got that pattern figured out, you're going to start seeing the results. You'll start catching fish more and more. And that, at least for me, sometimes that's 3 fish in an hour, but you really feel like you figured out what the fish were actively doing. Other times it'll be 12 fish, 15 fish in an hour, maybe more. It just kind of depends on the river and the day and how active all the fish are being. So, all right, so we've come across some very slow water and some rising trout. I'm going to attempt to do something pretty stupid. I'm going to try to film myself catching these fish, and I'm going to use my 10.5-foot Euro rod with sighted line still attached to about 2.5 feet of 6X line, a size 24 Sprouts midge. I'll probably get 1 cast. We're gonna just see if it works. The other idea is because the wind is so gently in this direction, I might actually just be able to dance it out there. So we're just gonna see and do my best to film it. Let's see how it goes. Here's the dry fly. It's just like the real thing. Just a quick one. We'll get him back in the water. Hold still, buddy. Oh, he's fiery. Hold still. Now he knows what it is. Like a snake. Alright, well. Sweetness. Yeah, definitely. So as you can see, that worked. That was pretty cool. There's more rising, so we're gonna go work a few more. Surprisingly not as difficult to cast as I thought. Again, this is why I'll link to the video or the comments, or this is why I set up my Euro nymph rig this way. Other people, you got monofilament line, 25 feet or 25 yards or however much you want to put on it. You're never gonna be able to cast that monofilament line very easily. But if you can utilize fly lines still, and just work with a shortened leader like 12 feet, then your dry fly fishing is capable at least. It's not going to be like super optimal per se. I do better with a different rig, but with the wind at our back, we were able to make it happen. So that's pretty cool. Beautiful mountains in the background. Cool little red bush. So we'll catch another one. Yes. The lesson I learned today was to spend time trying something new, even if I found out that the fish were eating dry flies, and I didn't have a dry fly rod, and so I go, well, I've always thought about trying to use my Euro nymph rod and the setup that I have to throw a dry fly. I would have thought I'd be throwing like a big stimulator with it or something, so I got something to throw. I just threw a little size 22, 24 gray Sprouts midge, and it actually worked quite well. With the wind at my back, I was really able to make it work. And it was fun, caught a few fish. I think I ended up with about 7, and then a few more hooked over like a 2-hour period. So it wasn't like huge, but it wasn't bad either. Filming always slows everything down. It takes twice as long to set up all the shots and stuff. So it was fun though. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well, and I'll catch you guys next time. Please check out thecatchandhatch.com for online fly fishing courses, fly assortments, fishing flies, leaders, boxes, and the Fly Fishing University. Lots of good content to learn there, as well as stuff like this. Hope you enjoy.